Good evening, and thank you for coming. The worst time to speak is after people eat a meal. Guess what? That's when I'm speaking. So I don't have control over that. I would like this session to be as interactive as we can make it, and I have an exercise which will start some of the blood rushing back into your body after the carbohydrates get out. Can everyone just raise their hands above your head? See if you can touch the sky. Please intertwine your fingers of your two hands, and since I am vertically challenged, put them in front of you. Look at the fingers of your hands. You'll see that there's one finger from your left hand, one finger from your right hand. Correct? There are no two fingers from the same hand together. Am I correct? Good. Please look at the thumb that you have on top. When I give you the signal, not before, I need you to take your hands apart, put them together, opposite thumb on top, but no two fingers from the same hand together. Does everyone understand the directions? Okay. Take your hands apart, put them together, opposite thumb on top, but no two fingers from the same hand together. Please check your neighbor to make sure they're not cheating. How does it feel? Different. Uncomfortable? Weird? Strange? See, change is uncomfortable for people. It's one of the reasons we don't change. It's one of the reasons that we accept. And does this improve anything? No. So today I want to talk to you about improving the way we look at bullying, not changing the way we look at bullying, but improving the way that we look at bullying. I have one more exercise before we begin the presentation. I need you to put your hands like this. When I give you the signal, please not before. I need you to take your arms apart, put your opposite arm on top. Everyone understand the directions? Good. Take your hands apart, put your opposite arm on top. What do you mean you can't do it? They're your arms. It's kind of weird. Is that a change or an improvement? A change. We measure change and think we're measuring improvement. I want to give you a different way of looking at bullying. Anne asked the question, and had I known that she was going to reproduce one of the articles, I would have changed, hopefully improved the way I was going to present this. When I was growing up, and I was in middle school, in those days it was called junior high school. When I was in junior high school, George Hayes bullied me. And it's something I will never forget. I'm way past that time, but it will be a memory for all times. So I need you to think about your life. How many of you were never bullied? Okay, where does bullying take place? School. Everywhere. And who gets bullied? Everyone. Anyone who is different gets bullied. If you are too fat, you get bullied. By the way, I'm not too fat. I'm the ideal weight. I'm not the ideal height. It depends on how you look at it. If I grow 12 inches, I'll be both the ideal weight and the ideal height. And I must confess, I've been on a diet now for 1 month. And so far, I've lost 30 days. So, if you're too tall, you get bullied. If you're too short, you get bullied. If you're the wrong color, you get bullied. If you're a male, you get bullied. If you're a female, you get bullied. If you're Hispanic, you get bullied. It doesn't make a difference. If you are poor, you get bullied. If you are rich, you get bullied. If you are smart, yes. Everyone gets bullied. There's nobody who is exempt from being bullied. And bullies like to pick on people, and it's ongoing. And I'm going to get to the last part of the presentation right now. The last part of the presentation is in 49 states. New Mexico is one of those states. If you bully somebody, no matter where it takes place, you are arrestable. It is a state crime. You can go to jail. Most people don't know that. So if you have a child who is bullied and you do what I'm about to suggest that you do, and it doesn't stop, and the principal won't act, and the school board won't act, go to the police and tell them your child is being bullied and you want the child arrested. And that's very critical because everyone thinks it's a joke and it's a normal thing. Yes, it's a normal thing. As I have already pointed out, it's nothing new. I was bullied at a very young age. What we need to do at the very outset, or what I suggest we do, is to identify, can everyone identify the warning signs of bullying? How do we know if somebody is being bullied? A child, let's say.
They don't want to go back to school.
Change. You can see the change in them.
Right?
Withdrawn.
Withdrawn? How would we recognize the change? What would the change look like?
They're sad all the time.
Right.
They don't want to eat. They don't want to go back to school.
Depression?
Sometimes they'll be physically involved.
Right.
Can't sleep. Sometimes they act out.
Yes. Cannot sleep. So these are warning signs, and we need to look for warning signs. That's the first indication, and we need to act on the warning signs before it gets much deeper. So we've identified the warning signs, and what the rest of the presentation is going to be is first, most of my presentations, in fact almost all of my presentations, are addressed to educators. Are there any educators in this room? A teacher? Oh. By the way, the kids who are most abused, most bullied are the vulnerable, special ed, LGBT community, and children of incarcerated adults. Those are the three greatest categories of bullying that are taking place. So it's really critical. As a parent, if a parent of a child, I suggest that you go to the school and ask the school principal. So those of you with young children. By the way, at what age does bullying start? Actually, before kindergarten. Pre-K. In fact, before pre-K. It happens on the streets. Kids get bullied. Their toys get taken. They get bullied physically. So it happens very early. At what point does it really become most critical? Actually, it's middle school. Although elementary school, I have a niece, at the time she was 11. She has red hair. I have no hair. And she was bullied because she had red hair at age 11. But it definitely has an effect. Most of the bullying that is now taking place, there are several types of bullying. Physical bullying, that's the first question on that quiz that I gave to you. Physical bullying is conducted by whom? Male. It's predominantly a male form of bullying. Emotional, psychological bullying is female dominated. And thanks to cell phones, thanks to the social media, it has picked up in the female population tremendously. The problem with cyberbullying, which is what that article you have on the back of the sheet that Ann prepared. The problem with cyberbullying, it's 24/7, 365. It never goes away and it's anonymous. And it takes a variety of forms that we will talk about. But if you go back to your principal in your child's school, does the principal in the school, does a counselor in the school, will they admit to you that there is bullying that is taking place? Well, they should. And if they don't, push them. Push them. Do you know where bullying is taking place? Where does bullying take place in a school? Any place that is not under inspection. It takes place in halls, it takes place in locker rooms, it takes place in lunchrooms, it takes place in study halls, it takes place. Do they know? And what steps do schools take to stop those sites where there is bullying that's taking place? Have they put more security? Have they done something to stop the bullying in those places? If it is reported, I'm sorry, Monique, no? No.
They don't do nothing.
They don't do a thing. Okay. I'm sorry. We all pay taxes for schools, and they're asking for an increase if you read the Albuquerque Journal. It's our responsibility, if they don't do a thing, for us to push them. You go, if it isn't the principal of the school, it's the superintendent of the school. And if the superintendent doesn't do it, it's the school board that has to do it. And if the school board doesn't do it, it's the public education department. And if the public education department doesn't do it, the feds can do it. Again, it's a crime. It is a crime. And educators are in what is called loco parentis, in lieu of a parent. So if I know there is abuse taking place and I don't do anything about it, I can be, as an educator, arrested as an abuser because of in loco parentis. So, and by the way, you know who everyone in education is afraid of? Not the parents, the media. If you don't get anywhere with the principal, the Albuquerque Journal, or Channel 13, or Channel 4, or Channel 7, whatever, just start threatening. You'll start seeing movement within. So the question then becomes, what is being done? Is bullying a problem in the school? How do you know it's not a problem? How do you know it's a problem? Where does it happen? How do you know it happens there? What are you doing to stop it from happening? How do you handle bullying? What is the school policy on bullying? Who are the best people to deal with bullying? Law enforcement. Invite in the police department to discuss bullying in the school. There is a 16-year-old child, now 17, in California, who set up a website called Sit With Me. So if a new child enters school, posters are up, and Sit With Me becomes at lunch. In the schools where I have spoken, I talk about having student ambassadors. Suggest that to the principal in the school. Every classroom in every school should have a student ambassador. Monique, I want to welcome you into the class. I am Frank. I am the student ambassador for class. If you are lost in this building, come to me. If you can't get homework, come to me. Here's my phone number. Come to me. Let's do something. That's the way to make the school family friendly. Now, you should have my business card. My business card is on the back of this bookmark because I write books. My business card has my website has 1,000 pages of free information. Yes, ma'am.
Is bullying more predominant in schools that are like lower class, or is it?
No. Does bullying only take place in lower class, lower economic groups, poverty, minority communities? The answer is no. Physical abuse is not as deadly as emotional, psychological abuse. And again, yes, but the good schools, quote unquote good schools. I mean, I spend my time doing workshops and writing books. And I can tell you, not for this session, Teach for America teachers who are on Pueblos are leaving Teach for America faster than traditional teachers do. Charter school teachers are quitting faster. It's the media that is reporting what it wants to report. So one of the questions on that sheet is, are schools more violent than they have been in the past? The answer is no. Schools are as less violent than they ever were. The media, it's the tradition of the media. If it bleeds, it leads. No matter where I go, that's the headline. And if you go to my website in the center, you'll see it says at the very beginning, in the middle, that we are over-reporting school reports, including in this city. Why do we close low-performing schools and force parents and children to get up earlier? Why aren't we trying to improve those schools? Why are we causing kids to get up at 4 o'clock, parents 4 o'clock in the morning, so they can get on a bus by 6? And it makes no sense to me with all of the money. And by the way, I speak for Rotaries. Let's go back to that. I've been told that the problem is education is so expensive. It's not. Education is inexpensive. You know what's expensive? Ignorance. Ignorance is far more expensive. Do you know what it costs to incarcerate? Ann knows these figures. $182,000 a year for one student. For one incarcerated person, juvenile.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But the media doesn't talk about that. Education is expensive. Oh, no, it isn't. According to the FBI, that's one of the questions. According to the FBI, 161,000 kids a day do not come to school because they're afraid of being bullied. They're potential dropouts. Yet our society would much rather deal with that as a problem. Again, I'm on my soapbox, and it's not Sunday, and I shouldn't be sermonizing. Children do not report bullying. They don't report it to parents. They don't report it to schools. They are embarrassed. They think it's not natural, not normal. And so open discussions between parents and children really needs to take place. When I was growing up, way before any of you were born, when I was growing up, every Friday night, my father, who worked 2 and 3 jobs, used to make sure we had dinners on Friday nights together, and we went around the table discussing what had taken place in school the previous week. I suggest that's some of the things we do. Is everyone aware? How many of your children have cell phones? I was waiting for a change of plane in Atlanta, and this cute little girl was walking past. And I said to her as she went by, "How old are you?" And she said very proudly, 3 1/4. And I said, is that your mom's cell phone? And she said, no, very proudly, it's mine. So children are getting cell phones. Is everyone aware that there are cell phone contracts? You can go online. And my suggestion is, as a parent, you look at any of the insurance companies, Geico, Allstate, and look at the cell phone contract. Here's the contract. I need you to sign it. If you violate this contract, you lose the privilege. But taking away your child's cell phone is like taking away their left arm. However, I seriously suggest you take away your child's cell phone at night, which is when bullying takes place. Nighttime is either for reading or sleeping. It is not for texting. And everyone has heard the famous, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. There's a fourth monkey that never gets support, and it's called text no evil. So we need to add that to the picture. Children should not text at night. If your child has the use of a computer at night, that computer should be moved into a common area at night. Not in a bedroom where children can do whatever damage they wish to do. You've got to monitor your child's websites. How many of you know about KIK? I have 2 people. You know, 3 people. According to the FBI, KIK is the most dangerous website on the web. It is used to bully other people. And it's not alone. Some of the websites, if you post something on the website that is an attempt to bully, Kik is one of them, the minute that the person who is being bullied opens it, 10 seconds later it disappears. And so the police cannot monitor it, parents can't monitor it, schools cannot monitor it. So if you don't know about Kik, your children do. And if you want a list of the websites, and I cannot keep up, if you want a list of the websites, simply send me an email. My email is on the business card. And request a list of the bullying websites. And I'll send you the latest list I have, which is now 2 months old, which means it only has about 30 of them. But we need to start monitoring what children are looking at. And be aware of your children's friends. Because kids who get bullied frequently get bullied by friends. It's not enemies that bully other kids. It's friends that bully kids. I have thrown a great deal of information at you. Some of you may feel I've left something out. If so, please raise your hand. Let me deal with it and see if I have the answer. Yes, ma'am.
Or relationships in general, just like any type of friendship, whatever. But that's who bullied me, were men mostly. And it messed me up for a long time.
Before I came here, I was on the web. And it is Michael Douglas's wife has just reported that the woman who accused him in 2011 has now come forward, and she is appalled. I'm sorry, this happened in 2011. This is 2018. So yes, it is sexual abuse that we're talking about. And I don't have to, we have it in politics. We have somebody, I won't mention who says, I grab women by their genitals. We have the Hollywood couch. We have movie stars. We have politicians. We have, it's ingrained in our society. Well, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and at dinner, and they said, "Well, she said," and I said, "Okay, don't go any further. Go back to she said," and we don't accept that because it's a she said. We challenge that because women in society, it's not American society, it's not 2018 society. It goes back to the Bible. I'm sorry, that women had a subservient role in all societies, and in many societies still do. So yes, abuse by males is not particularly unusual. Abuse of females by males is not particularly unusual. And I would love to say it only happens here. It doesn't. It's happening worldwide. Yes. It's happening in Brazil. It's happening in Venezuela. It's happening. I had the privilege of speaking in Israel. It's happening in Israel. It's all over. It really is a major problem we have to deal with. We need to start teaching knowledge. We need to start teaching kids how to think, not what to think. We teach children, my background is history, we teach children. Columbus sailed, this is your part, this is the audience participation of you three ladies. Columbus sailed the ocean in 3 ships. What were the names of the ships?
Santa Maria,
What year?
1492.
1492, I remember that one.
We don't need to know that. We have Google. We don't need to know. That's information. We don't need information. I'll get to you in a second. We need to know. We need to have teachers asking the why questions, not the when, not what ships. The question we need to ask is, why did he call the people he met Indians? He thought he was in India. He thought the world was round. That's what kids need to do. They need to start putting their mind to it. I really don't have, I've got, according to my watch, 10 minutes. I taught economics. The most boring thing to teach, ladies, this is for you. Most boring thing to teach in economics is supply and demand. The most boring thing to learn is supply and demand. I gave my students a quiz. This is the quiz. It is discovered tonight that eating a lemon a day will stop you from getting cancer. What happens to the price of, it's not true. What happens to the price of lemons tomorrow? What happens to the supply of lemons tomorrow? Right. So I told the students, I don't care how you come up with an answer, you can even work together. I really don't care. But I need you to figure out price, supply, and demand. They came up with things I would never have thought about. We need to start asking what? We need to start asking knowledge. They were going to corner the market before, they were going to go to Smith's before anyone was at Smith's and buy up every lemon and turn lemons into a black market. They were going to buy every lemon and every lime and spray paint them yellow and sell them. It's creative. We need children in this world, the 21st century, to be creative. Ladies, I understand you're going to college. I have no problem with college. We need people who are, not everyone should go to college. Teachers starting in Albuquerque make $30,000 a year. Everyone know that? Yeah. What job with a high school diploma? Those of you who are parents, please raise your hand. What job with a high school diploma starts at $68,000 a year? No, police don't start at that high. And you have to go for an advanced degree, right? It's not a high school diploma. It starts at twice the salary. We don't need everyone to go to college. Kids don't like college. And what we're doing is we're cutting out art, science, and music. I heard that before. You know why? Because it can't be tested. Yeah. What do we need to do with children? You have that on the back of the sheet that Ann made out. 1, They need to speak up for a a friend who's being bullied. They need to come out. Most critically, they need to seek help immediately from an adult, from a trusted adult. They need to be taught that they do not send pictures of themselves out on the web. They need to be taught to think about the consequences of all of their actions. They don't. They think they're going to live forever. They think that the world is simply waiting for them to come. They are not to send forward any cyberbullying. As a parent, your child should keep whatever evidence they have about cyberbullying, recording the dates, the time, the descriptions of what the cyberbully said. They need to report cyberbullying to parents. And most critically, they need to know bullying is against the law in 49 states. So we were asked by Anne as one of her questions, what are you thankful for? I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for being here. I'm thankful for being alive. I'm thankful for you showing up tonight.